We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about Bitcoin's next move, a parabolic move that is looming at the horizon, despite all the craziness that is going on right now. I mean, the trade war is getting a little bit absurd. We are going to talk about this as well, and we are going to talk about altcoins, Ethereum, and what it means for the other altcoins. There is a little bit happening behind the curtains, so I think that is great. So it's a freaking Friday. Make sure to smash up the like button and stay tuned all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. I can see that a lot of you are excited right now, and this has nothing to do with the Bitcoin price, I guess, because we are only slightly in the green, as we have corrected yesterday as well. But so smash up the like button, as I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, notifications on, and let's see the chat. A lot of rare hodlers are here. G-Money, good morning to you. I think you have a new profile pic, right? Trucking Hank also there. Good morning. Troy Paris. Hey, what's good? Nice to see you. Let's see here. I still get excited from the intro, for sure. The Degen in me. Absolutely. Yeah, I was told to not touch that intro, so I won't, right? Also, Jasper Frank is here. Swim Insights is here. Patrick Bultman, good morning to you as well. Was some good positive news from Ben Rowe's interview, or at least positive feelings? Wow, that is good. I did not get the chance to see that yet, but for sure I want to watch it. I have so much on my plate for Ecomi and Vivi, in the sense of what I have to recover and do. I have to swap Ecomi there on Stacker. I have to get into the Vivi-verse. I have to watch these interviews, so I don't even know when and where to do all of this. This is the downside if you have a job where you have to travel so much. But good to see you guys, good to see all of you, and let's jump into crypto here and see what's going on. So this is the Bitcoin price. I mean, we came from here in, when was that? In November. Now we're back almost where we were, at least maybe in the end of November, right? We came back to this we came back all the way down here, but we came back to this level now. So we're a little bit higher already. Maybe there is an upswing going on. We are respecting some kind of a downward sloping trend line. There is a decision point for that at some point. Ben said app performance is a priority, so hopefully it speeds up. Hopefully, yeah, because this is a make or break, to be honest. But okay, Bitcoin is looking okay-ish, and you will see in a second why. I think there might be the parabolic move starting soon. A breakout of this trend line could lead to quickly higher prices in the 90s. Which would be good to see, because it would also complete our our bounce theory here, right? Our bounce that we talked all the week. So removing that trend line again because just too much lines or too many lines. So the bounce looks very real at the moment, and I don't expect too much movement on the weekend. So I think we will stay around these prices. It would not be good for us to pump on the weekend because then we just open the next CME gap and then we have to come back to close it. So I really hope that we just stay at this level, close the week like this, maybe a little bit more, and then bam, right? Then off to the races. What's going on in the world? I think the stock markets are a little bit in turmoil because we can look at them in a second here, but we have some serious corrections in the stock markets from the last week. S&P 500, for example, and but the futures are bouncing already. So maybe it's not all that crazy, right? But we will see in a second why it's also not the best looking chart in the world. Where can I get a good chart to destroy here? So SPX, there you go, right? So I mean, if you look at this trend line, you clearly see that we lost it, and I mean that is understandable. I mean, we haven't seen a correction like that in a while, right? So what is that? That's 10%, so that's an average afternoon in crypto and definitely an average hour in an altcoin. But for the stock market, or for the S&P 500 in that case, 10% is big, because I think the last 10% might have been this. Yeah, this was only 9. So and then we had this here, right? Last time we lost the trend line was also 10%. So we might at some point, probably we will be bouncing here. I would expect the bounce to be very close here, as also the futures say. So, but it's still interesting to see. I mean, if you zoom out, it's not that scary. But also there are, I mean, if you look at this, for example, this here, that was after the pandemic, right? Or in the pandemic, this was a 26%. And also here, if you would overlay here a trend at some, like we always have these more exponential phases, or these expanding phases, and then we lose the trend line, and then we go into a bear market, right? So the question is, are these markets now in a bear market? That is the question, right? And I don't know if that's really the case. We will see. But I think everything has to do with this trade war. Yeah. So. And it's getting really absurd, because the EU has put a revenge tariff on whiskey of 50%. I think like for this trade war is getting serious for everyone who likes to party and drink alcohol or something like that, because if the EU doesn't remove tariffs on whiskey, the US will put 200% tariff on all wines and champagne, mostly punishing Italy, France, and southern Germany, I would say, from like the wine producing regions and champagne producing regions. I know there are more countries, don't be upset if I didn't mention your countries, like a Greek, for example, and so on, but they're true. The first thing they go for is the booze. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, as long as they leave the German beer alone, we'll be fine, right? We will see. But this is getting absurd. The problem with this is you start with some small things like this, but then if the EU doesn't give in, which they won't, probably because of wine and champagne, the next thing will already come, and then we will see what that is. But this is how you can start a trade war that is not so lightly reversible. I mean, probably Trump's banking on that all these countries and regions just give in. But yeah, priorities absolutely. Like for me, for me that would be, for me there's no priority on wine, to be honest, right? I mean wine is nice. I was involved my whole life in making wine, but I'm personally a beer drinker, so okay. But that is that. Trade war, we'll see. If this I mean, people will get used to it, markets will get used to it. The question is, how much will it affect and influence the economy, right? That is the big factor here. They're like a bunch of kids. Yeah, sounds like it. I don't think that it's much different now than before, just different topics, right? But I felt this childish thing also before, right? Only that, only that. I mean, I won't say it. It doesn't. Maybe this is too far for this stream. There we go. Okay, so Sailor Sailor's come out and put his model of 30 million Bitcoin over the next 20 years again, and that is really crazy, because I think that's like 84x or so from where we are right now. I think at least that I think it must be, if you divide 13 million by the 80 something thousand that we have right now. What is that? No, that's more, right? So 100k would be 10x to a million to a 130x plus something, right? Someone calculate that, by the way. But the bottom line here is, he expects the annual growth rate to go down, and but to 20%, and then even out, which would be more or less what you get on a Nasdaq. However, that would bring you, with a then flatlining 20% annual growth rate, to a 13.4 million per Bitcoin price, right? And that is something that I could get behind. I'm just not sure if we will stay that high for that long, until 2030 in the annual, with the CAGR, with the annual growth rate, right? I'm not quite sure, but this is one way of saying, okay, this is how crypto goes parabolic. But obviously a very long horizon. I mean, I will be beyond 50 when that happens. But still, it's good, right? In 20 years, a lot of us will not be here, especially Sailor, but it does sound doable. I mean, I hope you will be around in 20 years, right? I'm just not sure how this world looks in 20 years, but we will definitely find out. I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I'm very confident that I will be around in 20 years as well, and hopefully then yes, if my Bitcoin allocation grows at that rate, that will be already pretty good for me. But still, if this model is even close to the reality, I want to allocate a small money each week or each month to Bitcoin and just save into that, right? Yeah, so I can get behind that. And the CAGR is not, or the annual growth rate is not, because the CAGR is the compound annual growth rate, right? But the annual growth rate is okay, in my opinion. Like, this is more or less where we have been. If this turns out to be a little bit lower, then this will take a little bit more time. The question is, what will happen with the strategic reserve, right? But let's talk Ethereum quickly. So Ethereum whales are accumulating while everyone's bearish on Ethereum. This is interesting to see, right? I mean, there is an Ethereum stacking here. The price is flatlining or going down while this happens. So I'd say if Ethereum breaks out, probably the altcoin market is going to return hard again, because they will still look all on Ethereum. Next, strategic Bitcoin reserve. So Bitcoin reserve, if we look at the holdings now we have a confirmed reserve of 207k. So the market didn't react to it at all, because they were all expecting a plan to accumulate over time. But there is this 207,000 Bitcoin that is now the strategic reserve. And I think this should be good, because the last time that countries threw 50,000 Bitcoin on the market, we were very long time stuck in the 70k range. And now we should be, in my opinion, going up alone for the fact that the US is going to hodl these 207k Bitcoin, right? Then there's China with 194,000, then the UK. And now the question is, like, for example, let's say China also declares this like the official reserve, and they add to this, and they pass the 207k. Let's just assume that. Then the US has to buy, because the US always has to be like number one. They have to buy as well to stay in number one. And there will be other countries coming up here and go past this. So the question is, when will this race start, right? Because the US, they have to always be the number one, right? In everything, everywhere. So they will do it to stay ahead, right? And El Salvador, they will take some time, but they will be closely coming up here, one by one, day by day. And other countries, I mean, if you see that El Salvador is ahead of the United Arab Emirates and Finland and Georgia and whatnot, these countries, they have to catch up at some point, right? I mean, can't be that El Salvador is just going to a multi-billion market cap, so to say, in their strategic reserve. And then there's Germany, right? I mean, then there's Germany. As the creator of this graphic says, having Germany on here is just disrespectful. Yeah, we will see. Like, German strategic reserve is, I think, like $10, which and unofficial. So maybe Germany's waiting for more donations there to have something in it again. Yeah, we will see. But on that note, I think the stimulus pack that the new German government tries to inject into the market, mainly defense, but also infrastructure, is 1 trillion euros. So in the beginning it was 800 billion, now it's 1 trillion. So it's absolutely insane. It's the biggest in the history. We will see if and when and how this happens, right? But it seems to be more or less agreed already. So then this came out. Trump admin wants to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. A White House official told a room of crypto industry leaders this week that there should be no limit to the size of a US government strategic reserve, which is exactly what I'm talking about here. Of course, whatever admin in the Trump administration can say what they want, and that doesn't make it real. And that there should be no limit is also very clear, as there is technically no limit to the gold reserve, right? By the way, did they? I didn't see anything. Did they finally do a live stream from the Fort Knox gold reserve, or do they just hope that everyone forgets about this topic? I don't know. There we go. Parabolic. Why parabolic? Okay, so here it is. The usual parabolic curve in a step formation looks like this in the textbook. And our Bitcoin price with the parabola looks like this right now, okay? So the question is, will we get this last leg after base 4, because we have, as you can see here, technically we have, maybe we don't even, I mean, this is a little bit up for discussion, because these guys, they put the part before the bottom as one step, right? But technically, coming from the bottom, we have 1, 2, and 3 bases, and there is a base 4, and then the blow off top, right? The question is, blow off top now or another pump base and then blow off top, right? So remains to be seen. But in the parabolic theory, this means, since we have touched the parabola here, or since we have, I mean, you could even draw it a little bit closer to this and it would not invalidate it, because the wicks can go out, in my opinion. We should be bouncing here, right? And go on the most steep incline rise according to this parabolic pattern. However, very careful, because a pattern is a pattern, and we know that crypto can do unexpected things. Like, for example, this was also something like this was expected in the last bull run as well. And as you can see, in the last bull run, we did not go all the way, right? This was expected here, or we had this massive rise, and then here it was basically expected after a correction to have a continued parabolic rise to 100k, and this just didn't happen. We just never came out of the slump again. The party was ended by rate hikes, and so the question is, what next, right? But the setup here for now is very healthy. It looks good, and we will observe. The only thing that is a little bit wild is the markets going red, right? The markets, as we have seen here, the S&P, right, having these corrections, these crashes in S&P. So this is definitely something where you can say, okay, this is our trade war crash, okay? If you all can hit that like button, that would be cool. Thank you very much, man, for reminding the crowd. So it's Friday. I mean, we still have a little bit energy left in us to talk about these things, and I think that that a like button smash would be really much appreciated by me to bring this live streams and channel forward. Let's see how the Nasdaq looks. Yeah, the Nasdaq looks like this as well. There we go. What about the Dow? What do you have to do? Dow. What is DOJ? No, that's Department of Justice, right? What's the ticker for the Dow Jones? Is that it? Here, Dow Jones DJI. That's the ticker. Yeah. Also interesting. Okay, so this is interesting, because technically, you would have like something like a double top, and you took out this support, right? And free fall here. So next support level would be this. Okay. So yeah, the question mark, when turnaround, right? Something like this happened here. Interesting. Yeah, so let's see, but I think there's, like, for this here should be more resistance. There's, how much is there to go? Like 1% or so, 1.8% until this level is reached. It's very deep in the red. I mean, the last time that we had such a move was in 23, where we corrected 9%. This is, in this case, from this high, an 8.88%. Little bit more, yeah. This is double topish, yeah. Yep. And then we have the crash after pandemic. So the rate hike, that was a 22%. So that was really, really big one, yeah. And then before the pandemic, right? This was the larger one. Then here, how much was that in this? Let's see, 37%. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. But definitely, like this means basically you could form a lower, or you are definitely forming, even if you come up, a lower low. And then the question is lower high question mark, because you then could go into something like this, just like here, right? Just like this on the Dow. And why are we talking about this? Because these bigger markets, since we have so much Wall Street in our crypto, what is happening? Okay, there you go. Something like this, right? This could have, of course, something like this can happen, right? And then the question mark is then, or the question is then, if you have so much Wall Street in crypto, how will that affect crypto, right? So I think very valid to observe the broader markets. I have a cool thing to show you in Ecomi and Vivi. So let's go to this as well. So we see here the OMI chart on the weekly. Why is it coming out of the lines? Because we are looking usually at the monthly on the Ecomi chart. The month is red, the volume is high as never before. And what I wanted to show you is that on the weekly we have a little bit of green, right? But that's not all. We're bouncing here basically, or we are bouncing very close to this lower end. We are still in the downtrend. We still find new lows, but we're a little bit green. We are waiting basically for the whales to make their move here. I think there was someone yesterday posting that there was a 160 million Ecomi buy wall on Maxi, I think. That was interesting, but what I wanted to show you is this. Like, if you put Viviverse in Google, apparently it comes up like this. Collectible metaverse. The Viviverse is available, blah, blah. Okay, so this is cool because if the metaverse hype comes back, or at least something in that direction, which I'm saying, okay, you need AI and gaming to trigger this, because then you will have all of these gaming metaverse-ish things showing off how they use AI to create infinite content. Then that's cool, right? And I think that's good. Like the Viviverse collectible metaverse, that's exactly how you want to see it, how you want to see, or if people are looking that up, because that's the necessary buzzword that you need for crypto, right? So I like that. Then let's take a look at Vivi here once again. See what's new. So yesterday there was this Ben Rose interview, which I didn't see yet, but you can also find the link here because Vivi actually has shared it. Yeah, a lot of community. By the way, if you put in Viviverse here, just in the filters, then you will find a lot of user created content. Like this, for example. So there are people in that building like crazy. Trucking Inc. says, I bought a couple of more million. Good for you, as they say, right? Nice, Trucking Inc. Keep thinking about it as well. By the way, this guy has one of my favorite comic covers ever. This is one of the secret rares of the earlier comics that came out of the comics, what is it, like the Vivi Comics site, and I was really hunting for this and I didn't get it, and then it was sold out. So this one, I really love this cover. I don't have it yet, but we will see. Maybe someone wants to sell it cheap. But this is one of my the Miles Morales. They have some really cool covers, and this is one of the comic covers. There's only 40. This is a 1 in 40. Well, really really crazy stuff. Yeah, someone's building a Omi pyramid. I don't know if that's like if that's the best symbol to build. Apparently there is a new propaganda drop, Mogul, Grin, Monopoly, whatever. This might be the first game in the Viviverse. Who knows? First bathroom in Viviverse. What the heck is going on? Yeah. Yeah, also here from Dr. Prophet. He says, I was dying to post this for over a year. My first attempt to inspect the partner statue with MetaQuest. So maybe we can look at this here a little bit. So this is crazy because like the details are insane. I think he's inside this. Yeah, he's inside the statue. But the details and the glimmer of the gold is really nice. Yeah. That's crazy. I think people will do this in the future to try to find Easter eggs or something like that. Like if there's any hidden signature that gives more value. Hey PH, just checking in with the gold and silver price. Yes, hey Stu. Yesterday we talked about gold, and I was like, "Where is Stu? Where is Stu?" Look. We were looking at gold versus Bitcoin, and how crypto is very likely to turn around in the future because gold is just moving in here, right? So we're waiting for the move, right? We're waiting for the move, and then we were obviously we were talking about Stu. Where's the stew, right? So yeah, that's that. But nothing super new. Gold's still trying to get beyond the 3K. Long way to go to 8,000, Stu. I tell you that. Long way. Boleto says all season loading. That's good. That's good. All season loading, we will see. There are people that don't believe in all season anymore, so I think that increases our chances for all season loading. Yeah, but that is for the Viviverse. Building tutorials are up. If you don't know how to use it, I will definitely make use of these because I have to do it now that I'm back from traveling and so on. I have to get into the Viviverse now. I was waiting a long time for my access. Now I can do it. 69. By the way, this is like there are still like people. There are a lot of collectors that collect specific mints. It's good to be aware, right? So here's like the 69er collection of Super Rush. All very cool. So yeah, that's basically it. By the way, what is this? What is this? The Viviversum Art Collection Series 1. That looks actually pretty nice. Interesting. I think that's for like that's in the Viviverse for your avatar to use. That looks pretty good. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You're not supposed to eat elephants anyways. What do you mean? Yeah, I get what you mean, and I think so. I think that's very true. XRP, XLM, XDC, H bar, giddy up, later PH. Yeah, we will see. We'll see. Good to see you. And by the way, guys, I think that's basically it for today. We are headed into the weekend. I still think that good things are coming. Make sure to smash up the like button right now for this stream. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Notifications on. We will keep a close eye on the broader markets. We also will keep a close eye on the altcoins, on gold, on everything to try to evaluate what's going to happen next. Green Lantern, good to see you. Just hopped on. GM, fellow hodlers. GM, Rafa. Anybody thinking we will chop for a while, even down to 772k for Bitcoin, where Bitcoin dominance up to 70%? That can definitely happen. I hope that we don't go all the way to 70k, because I think it would destroy sentiment a little too much. But it can definitely happen. I personally think that we will bounce from here, but we will see. Maybe there's even more downside. So anyways, I was 100,000% on US product. Let's get ridiculous. It would be so funny. I was already going to go offline here, but it would be so funny, and maybe not funny, but imagine it's like, yeah, okay, if you do that, we'll put 1,000% on peas that are coming from Poland or asparagus. And it's like, okay, if you do that, we're going to put 1,000% on Kentucky Fried Chicken imports. And like they would be only battling like kids in the sandbox. Like, no, you are Kukurbis. It's so stupid. Okay. Anyways, on that note, you can now think of all the funny examples that they could throw at each other. All the leaders of the world with their country-specific products. And maybe then the next step is sanctions, where you're like, where the Greek prime minister will say, we're not going to deliver any olives and goat cheese anymore. Sanctions are up on the US, right? And then the US will be, yeah, and we are not going to deliver any more democracy to the Middle East, right? Stuff like that. Okay, but on that note, before it gets out of hand, guys, have a good one, everyone, and bye.